Okay, I had another point about the drive in overtime. As it relates to the confidence that maybe was delusion, that maybe was hubris, that Jalen Hurts was going to get the ball in there. And it was 1st and 10 on the Chargers 17. It's all the more reason it was such a stunner. They didn't have to throw it deep inside the 5-yard line on that play. They didn't have to take a risk with it. They could let Saquon Barkley run it once. Take a safer, higher percentage pass. You're moving the ball. I wonder if the play that happened on 3rd and 16, when they got backed up by the holding penalty, and it felt like we were 2 snaps away from a Charger win. The ball that Hurts threw to Devontae Smith on 3rd and 16, arguably his best throw of the night. And I think they made this point in the broadcast. I think they said it more diplomatically than I'm going to say it. But it was a fairly routine play that seemed like a big deal because we don't see the Eagles do that nearly enough. Something that's that flawlessly executed. Like we expect it from other offenses. When the Eagles do it, it's like, whoa, hey, where's that been all season long? But I wonder if that unlocked a level of swagger and confidence and belief that maybe had Jalen Hurts willing to take a risk he shouldn't have taken just 5-6 snaps later.
Yeah, and Troy Aikman actually said it on the broadcast last night. He said when you watch this team, they don't have many plays that happen on time. Meaning there's not many plays where Jalen Hurts drops back, hits his back foot, hitches, and fires the ball. And like you said, that was one of the few plays that you don't necessarily have a lot of time to say, hey, let's scramble around and we'll find a way to get 16 yards. It was like, hey, we drew this up. And as soon as he hit his back foot, Henley was the linebacker. They were in a zone coverage. There was a guy that was probably maybe 8 yards underneath. He only took like a half a step or a step towards that low guy. And as soon as Jalen Hurts saw it, he fired the ball in. And that's the way you want to play. You want to play on time. The difference the last play of the game was he comes out of that fake and he's rolling right. And I just pulled it up and watched it real quick. Cam Hart shuffles towards Dallas Goedert in the flat. And it seems like that was enough for Jalen Hurts to say, okay, I can now get this corner route in. The problem was the Chargers got pressure on him. So as he's rolling and he's throwing, the pressure's coming. So he's trying to make a throw that what you just said to me is the reason you don't. It was 1st down. You didn't need to make that throw. And I think this is what everyone's been talking about with the Eagles. For a team that is so talented and that's played together, the easy decision is I either throw it to Goddard and we get 2 yards, or I throw it at his feet and we get an incomplete pass, and then we line up on 2nd down and we hand the ball to Saquon Barkley. We get six yards maybe. He averaged 6 yards a carry last night. Maybe we get 6, maybe we don't. But we have full confidence that when we line up on 3rd down, we get the 1st down, and then we'll eventually punch the ball in the end zone and we'll win this game. They don't play that way. They play like a team who's like, oh, you don't think we could do it? I'll show we could do it. And it's like there's so much pressure on every play to make this big play or to have a play that everybody believes that they can go win or they can do this. And it's just not necessary. Again, you watch that game and you walk away and you're like, man, the passing game was it today. And then you're like, well, Saquon Barkley still had 20 carries, but you still felt like, man, they probably could have gave him the ball more last night. It felt like that was the night where Saquon Barkley could get a few more carries. And it's just it's so hard for this team to do 2 things. Jalen Hurts threw the ball 40 times last night, where it's do they want to have him at 40 times? Bigsby was a guy that seemed like he was showing up and having some success. We didn't really see him on the field at all last night. And it was just dang, do we not see him on the field because some people were saying he's running the ball better than Saquon? It's just so much that happens with the Eagles that when they lose, it puts every issue to the forefront.
And one of the issues that I remembered as you were talking about the timing and the execution that we saw on the 3rd and 16 that became a 28-yard completion to Devontae Smith, that was the Derek Gunn report from a couple of weeks ago, that they can't get Jalen Hurts. This was Gunn's report. They can't get him to pull the trigger. He's holding the ball too long. He's not running the offense the way they intend it to be run. He's doing whatever he chooses to do with the ball, and it's throwing off the timing of the play. And that's significant because Nick Sirianni, the coach, confirmed after the game last night that he has been spending more time with the offense and will continue to do so. And you just wonder whether Hurts isn't listening to Kevin Patullo, the offensive coordinator, and so you need to basically gang up on him a little bit. You need to have Patullo and Sirianni making it clear this is how we run these plays. This is what you do here. He did it in that spot on 3rd and 16. And, maybe. And I know the rush is a factor, but some of these plays, the timing plays, you've got to pull the trigger when it's there. And if you wait a split second too long, that's how a ball that would have been completed ends up being either incomplete or intercepted. And that's been the issue, one of the issues for the Eagles all year. And it was definitely the issue last night because you're right, they're moving the ball. You take away those 5 turnovers, and they're going to score 30 points. Like, they've only scored 20 or more points once since their bye week. And they were right there at 19 last night, and they would have had more than 19 if you don't, and I can't say it was 5 possessions because there were 2 turnovers on one play. So it was 4 possessions marred by turnovers from Jalen Hurts. By the way, this weekend was not good for the 2 Super Bowl quarterbacks. On Sunday night, Patrick Mahomes had 3 turnovers and no touchdowns, rushing or throwing. On Monday night, 5 turnovers, no touchdowns for Jalen Hurts. They played in the Super Bowl exactly 10 months ago today. And Sunday night to Monday night, you combine their performance, 8 turnovers, no touchdowns, and I didn't do the math. Pro Football Reference has a passer rating calculator where you put in the factors and it spits out the number. I added up their stats, Hurts and Mahomes, as passers. 25.29 is their combined passer rating for Week 14. So things change fast. And I remember in the aftermath of Super Bowl 59, there was a legitimate thought, man, these are the 2 best teams in football. They're going to do it all over again. Look at where they are right now. And look, everyone's going to have a rough night. We're not used to seeing rough nights from Patrick Mahomes. And we're not used to seeing 5 turnovers from Jalen Hurts. The planets aligned in the worst possible way for the 2 Super Bowl quarterbacks in Week 14. And one team is probably not going to make the playoffs. And the Eagles, hey, Devin, if the Eagles don't turn it around, they're not going to make the playoffs either. If they continue the 2023 thing, right now, if they go 2-2 or worse in the final 4 games, and the Cowboys go 4-0, the Eagles do not win the division. And if they go 2-2, that's 10-7. That may not be good enough to get into the playoffs. Last year, somebody who was 10-7 missed it. Who missed it? Somebody missed it who was 10-7 last year. I'll have to check. I'll check the standings. They may both Super Bowl teams may miss the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. The one bright side for the Eagles, you have Vegas, Commanders twice, and the Buffalo Bills. So, I mean, when we look at it today, you should be in the playoffs. The problem is, in football, when things start going poorly, it's rough. You get yourself in like this funk that you just can't get out of it. Like you just feel like you're playing a game where you're waiting for something to happen. And you spoke about text threads. You know, our guy Peter texted last night in the PFT. I proudly get to be a part of the PFT Tuesday group chat. And Saquon Barkley said we can use this to either start pointing fingers and get upset, or we can make sure it doesn't break us. It's like, hey man, like it's here now. Like Pete said to us, why is that even an option that it could break us? Because it's here. Like that's the reality of being in this situation. All these guys are competitors. They've all played on so many different teams. They've played on teams where it started going like it was going great. hey, we just won a Super Bowl. This is going to be great. Then it starts to go downhill, and you can feel it. You can feel the finger pointing happen. You can feel some guys are probably checked out. Like, that's what happens, especially in the National Football League. There's so many other things that can enamor guys that you would rather do. And as the season starts to dwindle down, you can start planning your vacation. You can now take on other you can do other things that come on your plate instead of saying, you know what, I'm going to push all that aside and I'm going to push forward. And right now, I think especially with the turmoil that feels like it's around the offense, a 5-turnover game for Jalen Hurts now going forward allows people around Philadelphia, because all of that plays a part, media, fans, everything, to be like, hey, that last game was Jalen Hurts' fault. He had the turnovers. So far, we haven't really been able. It's been different people that you can maybe point to with the offense. Hey, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. Last night is clear. 5 turnovers, you can blame one person. So I'm very interested. You're going against the Raiders next week. That should be an easy game. How do you respond? Is it a one score? Do you win by 3 points? They need to kind of come out next week and handle the Raiders, I think, to build back that confidence of, hey, we are who we are. Let's go win this thing and get on a run now.
And, they get the short week complicated by the late flight home from L.A. And Miles Simmons, who lives in the L.A. area, was at the game last night, and he texted the PFT thread late. It's taken them a long time to get Sirianni and Hurts out here to the podium. They got a long flight. They're going to get in really, really late if they're going to screw around and not get these press conferences done. So I don't know. Maybe they landed not all that long ago. It's 5.5 hour, maybe 6 hour flight. So they got to turn around. 5 days from now, the Raiders are coming to town. And I think it's going to be the home crowd is going to be. You think they were pissed on Black Friday? If they do anything other than do to the Raiders what the Chiefs did to the Raiders. Remember that Chiefs-Raiders game earlier this year where it just felt like the Chiefs had waved the magic wand and everything was fine? They made the Raiders look like a high school team. If they do anything other than that, it's going to be as ugly as it's been at an Eagles game. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.